Okay, that's right, more Valheim. Let's get back into it relatively slowly. Let's make a tasty mead. I did a little bit of busy work off camera, and I'm going to do more busy work today. I'm just going to get my local area a little bit trimmed up, cleared up. And I want to talk about a game that I've been playing nicely on the side. Recently, side game, Elden Ring, DLC, got through that. Had a good time, still some definite flaws in there. And definite flaws which I really hope like certain things get patched out. Certain things definitely have to be buffed up. But what I want to do, I guess just for this base area, is just clear out a lot of these rocks. I did some clearing woods-wise, just get rid of some logs all the way out here, make things a little convenient. Goodbye. And cleared some more logs and saplings around the coast here, just to make it look really nice when we're coming back from this area up north or what have you. I don't know. Just in case, because there is this mountain here. Yeah, it's going to look good. But, yeah, I want to get rid of these rocks. Probably going to get rid of these little bits of woods, too. Nice. But yeah, Elden Ring DLC, like, man, I've got some builds loaded up, theory crafted, put in a document. But I just know that things need to change. Things are going to change. 1.13, things will probably change a good deal. And that's just going to be so nice. I can't wait for that. But I'm going to go through some Valheim. Love that. Get through the Ashlands and such. Co-op should resume soon enough. So that's going to be great. I just have a feeling that right now the base is not going to be big enough for all the shenanigans that I want. There we go. So I'm just going to clear out these stone pieces here. But yeah, I've been playing I Am Setsuna, which came out in 2016. And it passed 2 of my tests for party-based JRPG. Number 1 is, does it have ATB? That's just like, I have to have it. It's way too good of a system not to have. I've already explained the benefits of it in the very first episode of the Bronze Age Baron. So, hopefully you guys are familiar with my points by now. But, it's just too much tactical freedom and depth for me not to enjoy. It's just such a good combo of preparation and execution while still leaning on the preparatory side for an RPG game. It's really, really nice. And then number 2 for like deal makers, I guess, would be, is it equal or more depth in terms of like character concepts? Not character concepts in like a story way or characterization, but in terms of combat and mechanics. Do I have good SCU in the game? Support, control, utility. And an easy way of saying that, to make sure that everybody understands that this is not an unreasonable ask, is posing the question like this. Does it have more mechanical depth in this sense than the original Final Fantasy IV that came out in 1991? And you'd be fucking surprised the amount of games that are turn-based, JRPG, party-based, that fail this metric. Holy shit. So many fail this metric. The fucking Chrono Trigger fails this metric, which is tragic. And any game that's going to be heavily inspired specifically by Chrono Trigger. Instead of adding the appropriate amount of depth to it in that regard, they usually just keep it the same. And tragically, I Am Setsuna's developers, Tokyo RPG Inc., who are a sub-developer under Square Enix, they made a pseudo-sequel to I Am Setsuna, not a real, like, in-world sequel, but it's called Lost Sphere, and that does not pass a test, which is horrible. It's so bad. But, yeah, so they regressed, which is really bad. Yes, they did put in better quality of life, which is fantastic. And, man, I Am Setsuna does not have the best quality of life. The menus are really weird, and, like, the way that you learn certain abilities just based off of, or certain ability modifiers are based off of RNG, which is really, really bad. It's very much reinforcing the meme in some ways that, turn-based ATB, it's all about, like, you know, so much doing nothing. Which is just, like, fundamentally not true. But there is incentivized a little bit more of that with I Am Setsuna, and I'll get into that in a bit. But the main interesting part of it is that there is a cool way to customize your abilities, which are called Sprint Knight, which I'm never going to call Sprint Knight again. They are abilities. Basically your magic, but it's abilities. And to augment these abilities, to make them better upon use, you have to equip certain talismans. And then those talismans have special modifiers on your abilities while you have another meter up to at least 1 point. So you have in combat I forget if it's called like motivation meter or something like that, where it goes up to 3. It'll go up if you're on standby, which is really nice. It'll go up higher on standby than it does when you act, but it will go up when you act. It will also go up when you get hit. Tragically, when enemy animations are going off, your ATB bar isn't going up, which is super weird. And neither is your motivation meter, or whatever it's called. Motivity? I don't know. It's not that important. The names aren't that important. But they go up to 3 levels, maximum, that your characters can have. And you can spend one of these. You basically, when the name of the ability that you use pops up, you press square on the gamepad. I don't know what it is on keyboard and mouse, but there's a key for it. And once you do, you're going to get a bonus ability modifier. It's going to spend one of your little motivation points or whatever, and you're going to get an ability modifier, and it's going to be like pretty good. Also, randomly, you could get something that's called Flux, and that Flux ability could also be modified based off of your talismans, and they can be different based off of them. If you get one based off of your talisman, then you can, and you should, permanently apply it to whatever ability that you just used. So that whenever you use that ability, even if you don't have the talisman equipped anymore, you get another bonus, which can be extremely good, like ATB boost, so that you can act sooner. That's like the best one by far. But there are also other cool ones that just boost damage, certain ones that like heal. And so you're just stacking abilities. You're using one ability, you're getting a bonus, and then boom, modifier, modifier, modifier. Like I have 5 modifiers on this AoE attack for the main character, which is just, it's absolutely ridiculous, like stuff that I can pull off. And those are 5 additional modifiers. There's still the guaranteed modifier if I spend a motivity point or whatever it's called. And unfortunately, because of the randomness of Flux adding these modifiers that can be permanent, there's a bit of RNG to the grind, which is tragic. But whenever I feel like I want to game and be productive, but I don't want to be as just material grindy as Valheim can be. I want to be specifically a combat grind. You know, that's a really good type of grind to just spend some time into, because I can spend like 20 minutes and gain 3 flux bonuses on my abilities for whatever characters, and be like, okay, yeah, that's permanently there. You know, basically, that's what I wanted. That's there. I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm just gonna dominate that much more, and it's just so nice. The synergies are really good already. Like, it doesn't tell you what type of characters you have, but certain abilities only certain characters can use. And the class design, even though it's not specifically said to you, becomes quite apparent. Like, there's a character, Eterna, that is a Time Knight, which is cool as fuck. By the way, it's so sick. And you basically have all of your time mage stuff from old Final Fantasies, like Demi and Slow, but you also have Protect, which is cool. And all of these weird, you know, like support, control, utility, plus decent damage is really solid. And then also you have like good status effects, which can put control on enemies and even bosses too, like stun and paralysis and like stuff like that, or slow. You can put like stun on certain abilities which deal damage normally, and so it's like you could be using this attack, you put a motivity point into it, you could deal decent damage, get stun, have a bonus effect that heals a party, and then trigger a bunch of other abilities from your flux that were on your talismans that are now permanently on that ability that give you boosts. So you're using one thing, but because you timed it right and you put an investment in, and then you put an investment in battle, now you get like 7 different abilities popping off at once, and it's just, holy shit, it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. It's so good. And yeah, I've got a couple of strange complaints. Number one, I don't think this one's very strange, but there's no borderless windowed option. So I don't know why Square Steam ports do this, but if you don't have a borderless window option on a Square Steam port, if you click off, the window minimizes automatically. It's like, why? Why would you do that? I want to record, and you can open it up, and it's just a hassle. It's an unnecessary hassle. This works on Final Fantasy IX. This works on so many of Square's fucking ports. It's so bad. It's so bad. But 9 has a borderless window option that I can use to mitigate this so that it never happens. And so that's really easy to record, or on a grind I can put on my own music or what have you, or I can watch something on the second monitor, whatever it is. I can do that and switch out and click a bunch of things if ads pop up or what have you. And it's so smooth. It's such a smooth time, as pretty much any game should be, right? That isn't, like, if you're not like in a live online game, PvP sort of situation or co-op, then yeah, it should be as smooth as you like in that regard. And that's just basic quality of life, but it's not. It's not present in that game for some fucking reason. And they didn't patch it up. So, that's a joke. Also, I'm stuck with like 1280 720 resolution, even though I have 1980 1080 on this PC. Like, it's like, what the fuck? I can't select that. Like, there are options that are present that I can use. It just won't let me do it. And I'm just like, okay, bro. Okay, bro. It's game's bugged. And of course, Square Enix's Steam ports are notorious for it being bugged, so it is what it is at that point, but that still sucks ass. That sucks ass. Oh my god. I don't think it's even a port. I think it's like an Steam exclusive too, or a PC exclusive, which is a fucking joke. I really hope not, though. But even so, it's inexcusable lack of quality of life for an issue that they caused in the first place that shouldn't be there. So it's doubly bad. The other thing I find really annoying are the voices, which I wish I'd fucking turned off. There's an option, it's like, do you want them on? like at the start of a new game. And if you click yes, then there's no way to turn them off for the rest of the game. And I'm like, oh, because it's just annoying. It's not even the good Japanese sub voice acting that you expect. It's just grunts and like the same line over and over again. It's just fucking brutal. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I really wish I go back and turn it off. I don't know why you can't. It's another bad piece of lacking quality of life, but holy shit, that's awful. Man, yeah, it's really bad. Speaking of pretty bad, the main character is a nothing burger. He doesn't really do anything of note without your input. And your input is literally just like, you want the good option or the kind of weird option, and we're gonna railroad you into the good option anyway. And I'm just like, okay, so you have like 2 non-options. Even if there were 2 decent options, even if there were 5 decent options, I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I would prefer if you just gave me the great option and let this character be a real character. Alright? This isn't like, I'm not playing a proper like tabletop. Okay? I don't need there to be extensive dialogue trees if some of them are just going to lead to shittier stories. Just give me the good story. If I want to roleplay in a good ass story with, you know, fulfilling dialogue trees, guess what? I fucking play a tabletop in real life with my buddies. Okay? It ain't that difficult for me to do. And so I see that and I'm like, I'm playing a video game. I want to play and experience a strong character written and developed by some devs, because I've done it before. I've experienced it before, especially from that studio, Square Enix, and I would love to do it again. But even in a game with as much thought put into it as like a Baldur's Gate 3, or me even looking at some Disco Elysium voice trees, I'm still fucking disappointed in them, because they will never, ever, and I don't think you will ever be able to reach levels of literally just playing a tabletop in person with the ultimate creativity of just interacting with fellow players at the table and the DM. And the fact that they're pulling an Icarus, flying way too close to that sun, you don't want to draw a comparison to that. That is... Ooh, that's some thin ice. That's some thin ice right there. You try to get comparisons to something that is only good at the real life table, and it's not gonna end well. Yeah, I mean, there are already memes about even BG3 by D&D community being like, look what they have to do to mimic even a fraction of our power. You know, the Thanos quote. But holy shit, it is absolutely true in that instance. It's just not the same. And in that sense, I can just always go in and play Baldur's Gate 3 co-op and just not give a fuck. And I can go in and I can do things with my friends, and I'll get more than enough of my money's worth anyway, even though I have aspects which are just fundamentally forever lacking to me. It is what it is. I can skirt around that and get my value's worth. But I can't do that. I can't do that with this game. It's really unfortunate when we have the main character Endir, and he's got like 2 shitty options, and I just do not give a shit. I'm like, oh my god, you know, main characters in the past have been so fucking good. Like Locke from Final Fantasy VI, Cloud from 7, especially fucking Zidane from 9. I mean, we've strayed from that. When you get to like 12 and Vaughn, I'm like, I don't, you know, it's It's like, you know, Baltier, you know, Baltier, whatever. It doesn't, it's not fucking, you know, give me Fran. Fucking Vaughn and Pinello, I do not give a shit. Oh my god. But they're like real characters that I can understand, and like they have their moments. And Endir will never have his fucking moment. Because I'm looking at the characters that I do have now. I just got the little mage guy. I already forget his name. It's like Kier? K-I-R? Yeah, that's his name, Kier. And he has a character arc. Setsuna, obviously, is a real character. She has her arc. Eterna, she's having her arc. She's a real character. Nidir has his character arc. He's a real guy that's actively interacting. And there's cool interactions between the four of them. And it's just like... Fucking player character Endir literally wears a mask. It wears a mask so that you can self-insert better. And it's like, motherfucker... Do you really understand the value of the characters written well in front of you? That the past is, you know, that we're trying to get the glory from? Like, we're trying to get the glory from mechanical systems, from Chrono Trigger. It's like, understand the value of the characterization of that game. Understand the value of the characterization in... character writing of Final Fantasy VI that we're also pulling some inspiration from. Understand the value of the character writing in the most beyond obvious inspiration that this game story has, which is Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X is basically just the... I don't know, I'm not through the story of this one yet, but it could be just a prototype of this story if it ends up being better. It could end up being better. Just because it's like ripping it off that hard, is it wouldn't be too hard to just, you know, copy the work and then, you know, fix little issues or write some extra bonus characters a little stronger. You know, it shouldn't be too hard to make Titus but better. And yet we've somehow given up on even trying to do that, which is sad. But if you manage to outshine the rest of the characters, it's possible. It is possible. But yeah, as soon as I saw the whole plot with the sacrifice and Setsuna, I was like, okay, we're Final Fantasy X. It's like, okay, well, we have this like ceremonial mage character who's going to be sacrificed at the end for saving civilization or whatever. And... you know, we're a guardian of people. You know, we have one person that's entered this setting that's just not familiar with the situation at all, and he's our main character, and we're going to basically just group up with everybody and build our party and take the sacrifice to the last lands or whatever, and then we'll save the world for only a certain amount of time. Yeah, that's very Final Fantasy X. But then we have like this old gruff guy who's injured, who wields a big sword, and he's very capable, but he's just kind of like definitely hiding something about him. It turns out he was part of the past guard, and something went wrong. It's like, oh wow, look, it's fucking Auron from Final Fantasy X. I wonder if he'll join us, and he does. It's Nidir. He joins us. And he's cool. He's got some great abilities, but the characters, because it's ATB, because there's a lot more interesting abilities in terms of support control utility, the gameplay actually is much more interesting than 10, save from Riku. Riku is... holy shit. She's by far and away the most interesting mechanically depth character in 10. Like, oh my god, by far. There's no comparison. She's very good, but very complex, but and also very interesting. It's like, she also has a cool character arc, even for just like one of the side main characters, if that makes any sense. But man, she's great. She's fantastic, just mechanically. But generally, I would take the SEU in I Am Setsuna over what we have present in 10. Like, oh my god, any day. Any fucking day. It's so nice. Very quickly, Eterna gets like slow and protect that you can get as an ability, and then Nidir gets provoke, and I'm like, oh, we're chilling like Final Fantasy 3, like the real Final Fantasy 3. Like we're having a grand old time, and that's just fantastic. But then, what's his face? Endir gets aura, which can heal like a shit ton over the course of like multiple party members, and it's like, bro, we're so styling. Like, it's so good. It's so fucking good. But then now that I have 5 party members, like the amount of stuff that we can get, like Endir has an attack that can put like debuffs on the enemy that deals damage. Nidir has one as well that can like stun the enemy. Again, in addition to all of his other shit, like Eterna has Demi, which can, if enemies are like kind of spaced apart, yeah, a little bit closer together, they can damage in an AoE and then pull them further together, which we can then like combo off of that, and so the AoE play is really strong, just dominating. It's kind of like Sentinel strats in that regard. It's just so fucking sick. But yeah, the Viking strats from Final Fantasy 3 in the DS version is just so fucking good. Oh my god. But yeah, moving forward, I don't know how Kier is going to go strategy-wise right now. I just have fire and bio, and it's like I'm dealing damage and I'm dealing more damage, and it's like, okay, great. There has to be something else going on for me to be interested. And then Setsuna herself, one of the best things that she has to offer right now is prayer as an ability, because it just restores huge chunks of MP to 2 party members at a time, including herself, depending on where she's positioned. And oh, that's wicked good. That's so fucking good. It's so good. Like, goddamn, that's so nice. But yeah, the Eterna Nidir combo as just like a party core is, whew, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, by the way, Eterna, I recently got an ability for her that has a bit of control on it as well. Like, oh, here's some damage and here's some other status stuff that we can put on. So that party core is even stronger. I'm still waiting for the others to be involved in some sort of interesting party core. It'll happen sometime, I'm sure. But I just gotta get those abilities up, and yeah, grinding out some flux abilities just even for a little bit is so good, because the way that you don't get money traditionally in that game. Usually you play like a Final Fantasy or a Dragon Quest, you're gonna get money, set a certain amount of gil or gold or what have you. At the end of each encounter, there's going to be like a little bit, unless you're fighting like a boss or something. But this game, you just don't get gold from encounters. You might get some from a quest reward here and there, but you will never get some from random encounters. Or in this game, it's set encounters like Chrono Trigger, which is kind of cool. But it's, you know, random encounters would definitely be more immersive with this setting. But that's just so far. There could be some big reveal with the way that the whole sacrifice works, because something's definitely off with the monsters and everything, where it might not be as random as we think on purpose. So there could be a little reason for that, but if there isn't, then random encounters would actually be better, and I honestly wouldn't mind them, because the amount of grinding with ability modifiers that are dependent on RNG anyway that we have to do, we might as well have random encounters if that's the case, because you're gonna need to fight a shit ton of encounters in order to max out your flex abilities, or even approach that. And then also in order to get good gear and good gear buffs and upgrades via a good mat. Like right now, what I have is Mithril, but I know there's going to be higher tier metals to upgrade shit with in the future. In order to get your good upgrades, you're going to need to spend a lot of money, and you're going to need to spend a lot of money on weapons and your talismans as well. And that money, you can only afford things if you get your grind on. That's it. You're not going to be able to afford jack shit if you don't. And it really wants you to grind up, and I'm fine with it, but I just wish it wasn't RNG based. I wish it was just based off of Final Fantasy IX with its set like ability points. It's like, oh, you get this many ability points, you master it. It's the same thing with Final Fantasy VI and Magicite and Magic. You get this many MP or whatever, or AP, boom, there you go, mastered, boom, done. You get some at the end of every encounter and every boss encounter, simple as that. But not present here, RNG based, which is tragic. But because the drops are so plentiful in this game, and they get modified if you do certain if you kill certain enemies certain ways, you'll get like drop modifiers. All of these drops you can sell for money, and a lot of fucking money. You will handily make a profit, and your grinds won't be that punishing. Even though there's no traditional inn where you can rest and get all your stats back, being able to sell all these mats and then like buy what you need to, and then also buy consumables, which are really good, like tents are cheap in this game, to fully restore HP and MP. It's just like, oh my god. It's so cost effective to just go get your grind on. And getting those boosts permanently eventually is just so good too. Now, it is satisfying. It is nice. The art is ridiculous. Being able to make use of newer mechanical systems in order to showcase an older style of game in a new fidelity, but not like different art direction, is absolutely phenomenal. And they did the art so well. They did the music very well too. The sound design is fantastic. Man, oh man, it's nice. I'm sure the voice acting is fine. I just don't want to hear the same old voice like snippets every 3 seconds when I'm fighting or inputting an attack or killing an enemy or what have you. I do not care. So it honestly didn't have to exist in that regard, but I'm sure that they were just working with how the game works, and a lot of JRPGs function like that, which is tragic. All things said, the game seems like it's going to be super nice. Again, I have to look at build cores. Maybe I'll do some recordings about it, just because I could do post commentary. It might look janky on the first recording, but hey, that's where post commentary comes in, and I'll be able to listen to my own music and do everything, even though it's going to be super janky with screen recording. It should be just great. Should be just great in the post recording. But yeah, I've been having an amazing time with that, especially with that build core that I mentioned. That Eterna Nidir build core is absolutely ridiculous, but I'm grinding up Setsuna and Kira right now. They really, really need the help. Let's see. Let's make another tasty. And then I have to do more surveying. I should rotate the crops though. Can never have enough tasty for the future, because you get into like a decent situation if you don't know what you're doing. It's like you could end up popping a stam, popping a couple tasty in one single encounter. I think tasty, like let's say like mage stuff did exist, like going into a new biome, obviously the bubble is going to be the best for you. Just surviving. Of course, making use of aggro radius and good stealth is going to be key. But man, tasty mead, like stam and the tasty mead being a a good potion chugger, holy shit. That's gonna make you just super survivable. You are going to be living. And yeah, the meads that I drank in first Miss Lens run, I remember that very clearly. Of course, lingering, stacking with taste. You know what I mean? That's gonna be solid. Oh man, getting to Miss Lands and beyond with my co-op group is gonna be so nice. That's gonna be so nice. Yeah, the interesting thing about talismans too is that they have ability slots on them for you to learn and have even more abilities, which is really cool. I think we'll plant. How much do we plant? 20. Give 10 to the guys, to the hogs, and then we use 30 for soup. Yeah, I think we do that. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 10? Yeah. We do another 10. Cool. And then turnips, so we can just plant all of these. That's great. But yeah, while grinding progression still has that incremental satisfaction, that it does in Valheim in a way. It's very much directly combat-wise. Combat to benefit more combat. Get more mats, get more money, get more consumables, all of that is very glorious in I Am Setsuna. And it's also very much neuron activation when like 5 different abilities trigger and you just like sweep the board. Or if you get like cool AoE combos like with Eterna and like a mage or something like that. It's like, woo! Oof. That shit is nice. That shit is nice. So because it's like all Valheim isn't necessarily just diving in and poking and spinning to winning. Sometimes I just want to have a game where I am just blasting, but in a smart way. Where just once I've sort of condensed everything in my mind such that it's basically like quote-unquote riding a bike, then shit, I'm having a grand old time and everything's just smooth, easy rotation, easy gameplay loop, having a great time. I would say, again, another complaint is like the thing that I mentioned earlier where I said that some people are going to rag on the ATB being like, oh, you don't do that much. The process of the momentum filling up more when you're not doing anything is really hampered by the fact that there's no but there's no lingering block ability, or defend ability. So in past Final Fantasies, what you could do, if you know that one of your party members had a lot of time to do stuff, or maybe an enemy was prepping for a big attack, you can have all of your characters defend. And what that meant is that your character was just super tanky. Out of nowhere, just like super tanky. But this character that would normally be on standby now has something to do when normally you would just be waiting anyway. And you're just doing something normal, boom. Now we're having a real benefit in combat where we can do something. And that's lacking. Similarly, there's no gear outside of weapons, talismans, which is really tragic because I didn't like it when there's like a certain amount of gear missing in any Final Fantasy. I want at least 4 gear slots and then a weapon and then Maybe even then it's like relics on top of that, or talismans as they're called in this game. So there are 4 gear slots missing. Like my armor slots are missing. There's no armor slots. There's no armor in the game. It's so disappointing. And oh boy, yeah, I just wish that was there. It's so tragic. Lacking in armor. Oh my god. And yeah, again, it's so bad, especially because past Final Fantasies were totally fine with having armor and all of that stuff and custom abilities. Like 9 had all of this and more in terms of abilities and unique effects on gear and all of that. And you know, wood goes in here, right? Yeah. And then it seems like we've just gone backwards in this regard. And of course, the fact that we've gone even further backwards from this in the quote-unquote sequel is mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling. What's sad about like some of the state, some of the online community, I'm not going to list any specific names, but I saw some people, some pretty popular people playing this game that came up first on my search to see if there was good mechanical depth or not. And as soon as the character's turn was up, they would just mash X, just spamming attack. Everybody's gonna get their basic attack, even though the most basic emergent gameplay out of a turn-based ATB is to just have somebody on standby just in case. Even though this game particularly has so many benefits and then modifiers to those benefits regarding its primary like gear and stat, like, and just fucking build variety, all that comes from that. Even then, I still couldn't find it because people were just mashing attack. They're like, I'm just gonna mash attack. And this is the sad reality of people just playing for the story gets people this way. It is what it is. Because no, they don't want to pay attention to the fucking game mechanics. They just want to play through and get the good story. It's like, okay, well, if they get popular enough, they're just gonna misrepresent what the game is all about. It took me. I had to fucking look up the abilities to see if they were there because people were fucking adamant in not using them. Holy shit. Like, oh my god, I'm trying to see if this game has any fucking depth. And the active Let's Players or what have you are just not doing it. What the fuck is wrong with people? That's a part of the game to engage with and interact with. Oh, I'm just gonna play a quarter of what the game has to offer because why? Because fucking why? That's like invalid opinion automatically dumpstered instantly. No fucking value in that opinion. Because guess what, bitch? I can play a game and appreciate the art direction, the styling, the voice acting, the story. I can appreciate the characterizations, the arcs that they go on, the themes in the background, and the goddamn gameplay, which is the fucking game in the first place. That should have precedent and priority. But I've been on that rant before, so I won't bother you any further. But yeah, the fact that I had to look that shit up, holy fuck. I mean, this is like people who play, I don't know, it's like watching people play Mario and not jumping. That's what it feels like to me. I'm like, what am I looking at? It's like, oh, I like to play Mario for the pretty colors. Like, oh, do you? Do you? Oh, wow. And then game developers like start making like platforming games without jumping somehow. And it's like, this is ridiculous. But people are playing for the pretty colors, so I don't know. And then you try to find like a platformer where you can jump again, and like people just aren't they just refuse. They're just like, no, no, not going to. No, I just play for the pretty colors. Sorry. I'm just here for the fucking colors. That's it. Holy shit. Oh my god. I just want to see if there's a lick of strategy in the fucking game before I spend, I think it was $40 if it wasn't on sale. It was on sale for like 70% off or some shit. That was fire. Got that shit. Got that shit on sale. It was great. Part of the Steam Summer Sale. It was fantastic. But, man, it's not good. It's not good when I have to go to a very matter-of-fact wiki in order to make sure that I'm making an informed purchase instead of looking at the community. Holy fuck. That's so bad. That's so fucking bad. What do you guys think? Should I clear out this part too? It's a little sparse in terms of trees. I don't know. I feel like it could make a great view out to the water here on this side if I decide to expand above the oak line. I could really make an interesting sort of section village here if I wanted to. It'd be pretty good too because there's a lot of in between to be had that would make the oaks easy. It would make raids a lot easier than they might have been otherwise, especially stuff like they were bros. That one's terrifying. Let me know what you think about that. About expanding in like different sectioned walled areas. That might be interesting. Maybe I do potentially different stylized areas. That would be cool. Another deer. But yeah, I have a lot of this area here sectioned off, which is great. Not quite ready because it's not terraformed out, and it doesn't need to be totally ready yet because I don't have ooh, I'll yoink that, because I don't have additional building mats like stone that I would want to work with. Of course, black marble, whatever the ashland stuff is. Don't tell me, I'll get there, trust me. Just remember fucking frost caves. That's all I want in your head. Took me like 6 months to get to frost caves, and guess what? That's when I started popping off for the first time with informative videos. Yeah, I was still making informative videos before then, but I was really escaping my potato era after frost caves, and that was in the summer after they came out. So trust. Now, oh, more deer. Look at the spawns. 3 of them. I don't think I've ever seen a triple just sort of spawn in front of me. Absolutely wonderful. We got 1 trophy. 1 trophy, that's fine. Bit unlucky, but that's still okay. Bow levels are bow levels, right? Speaking of which, what do we got level-wise? Run 70, I did off-screen, clearing out some trees. Bow's 42, that looks nice. Yeah, a lot of these levels are really good. Wow, this area, now that it's been like cleared out a little more. Let's get to not the real deal view, but like if I can get up here. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. I gotta expand out there. What am I doing? I gotta work on that. Let's get my pickaxe. That is absolutely the way to go, and not over here. It's still good that I cleared that out, because if I need to expand the base game radius, the base space radius, you know what I mean? Then I can. That's super easy, but pickaxe. I should absolutely clear the stone out of this, because this would be the easiest expansion, considering raids, because I I just had the realizations like, okay, well the oaks, they'll get chopped down and that's good because it's fine wood for me, and the logs are still fucking with the any of the raid mobs. But hello, dear. But these islands and rocks here are going to be far more defendable than that open plain, or just even just like if shit's near trees, the trees could damage things along with the mobs. That wouldn't be good. That would be an easy way in and out for mobs going in or potentially teams going out. That's not good. So I think expanding out here away from the trees might be better, because water is always a good base defense. This stone graveyard is going to have to go then. Or maybe I'll make that sort of basement look. Put some torches down, standing torches, eventually Dverger lanterns. I'll just build up a multi-story thing with stone. Have the basement be this graveyard. Oh, yeah, I got a graveyard in my basement. How metal. What do you guys think? I think that sounds cool. I've always wanted to have some sort of natural geologic basement or floor, like especially in like the plains with plains flowers, but I never actually get around to doing that. I will though now, this time with the meadows. That's gonna look good as a prototype. We'll see how it goes. Definitely clear these regular stones though. Nice. But yeah, right now in I Am Setsuna, I guess the last thing I'll say about that game is I think right now the build core for like a boss clear would be Nadir, Eterna, and probably Setsuna, just because I can use prayer on Eterna and Nadir to keep them doing things. Nadir, I mean, just like being able to be on standby and just like keep provoking, and being able to buff himself up defensively, and then just being able to have that build up momentum and just using whatever it is, the his one attack that deals damage that also can put debuffs on the enemy, put control on the enemy. That's going to be pretty spicy. But then also just like Eterna constantly putting control on, or just like buffing herself and doing things. It's like, that's going to be really nice too. I just don't think the bosses are going to be able to do too much of anything versus that combo. Let's get rid of this meat. Oh, we still got like a little rock over there. No Arkansas. No grayling either. Oh, 2-star? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh. Oh, come on, sir. Oh, you fucked now. That's why the water's so good. That natural slowdown. The sentinel strats are effortless. Thank you. The Frostner strats are going to be good too. And if I make a very specific ramp, if I leave one beach to be a specific sort of ramp, then I can funnel all of the enemies from a raid into one spot. And oh boy, the sentinel strats, man. Oh my god, got the fucking noggin jogging. My god. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be so good. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to deepen this canal then. Oh, the projects. Guys, we have motivation. Motivation, I tell you. Piggy! Adorable. I wish we could pet them. I still can't believe we can't pet them. What a shame. Alright. Got some trophies here. More feathers. I believe I have these in here for the most part. Needles, yes. Holy shit, I forgot how much I had. I'm cooking. I'm cooking. I'm cooking, I tell you. But yeah, gaming-wise, I'm in a very good spot. Just in general. Continuing up with Valheim shenanigans. Like, it feels fucking good to be back. I'm just telling you right now. Oh, it feels so good. Especially once you have, like, a clear mechanical motivation to, like, build weird shit. And, like, terraform and get a project going. Oh, that's a very satisfying notion. Alright. That's going to be the end of this episode today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm definitely going to fuck around more, get some grinding on with that I Am Setsuna. And going to be back with this project sooner rather than later. Working on that deepening the canal and terraforming that little island area. Oh, it's going to be good. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys some other time. Bye.